What is up, you guys? This is JP coming at you with another video. Today's video is going to be about the Spoto Press. The Sporto Press is just a variation of the traditional bench press. Obviously a bench press, barbell bench press, you unrack it, you come all the way down until the bar touches your chest. As I'm thinking about saying that, you might know a lot of people who don't go all the way down, but if you're doing the bench press right, for the most part, you want to use a full range of motion. Now, the Spoto Press is just a regular traditional bench press. The only difference is you stop an inch above your chest. So you do not do a full range of motion. So right before the bar hits your chest, you stop an inch above the chest, and then you start to do the concentric or the up portion of the bench press. Again, you don't want to cut the entire range of motion in half when you're doing a Spoto press. So you're not gonna stop halfway and then go back up. You're just stopping an inch off the chest. So you're just chopping off the last little bottom portion of the rep range. So again, the range of motion is not gonna differ that much from a traditional bench press. Again, the Sporto Press was made famous by Eric Spoto, world-class bench presser. He previously held the world record in the bench press, I believe at 722 pounds. So that's who it's named after. Now, why is the Spoto Press good? Well, I believe the Spoto Press is good. Anyone who does bench press, if you're doing a regular bench press, one thing, especially for beginners that's good, is when you're doing a bench press, even good bench pressers can control the eccentric or control the negative portion of a bench press. Now, beginners sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes tend to rush the negative or the eccentric portion of the bench press. They lower the bar too fast to the point where, one, they're bouncing the bar off their chest, or two, even if they're not bouncing the bar off their chest, they're just dropping the bar pretty fast, so it's not under that much control. So one of the best benefits that you're gonna be able to tell when you do a Spoto press is the fact that you purposely have to decelerate the load a lot more than a regular bench press. Because you don't want the bar to touch your chest on a Spoto press and you're stopping an inch above your chest, you are going to just be able to feel your chest musculature working a lot more than in a regular bench press. Because again, you have to decelerate the load a lot more. Again, because it's just, you're stopping it so fast that you're not just letting it come down to your chest. If you were to do a regular set of bench press, you can try this on your own. Do a regular set of bench press, you use a full range of motion, and then on your next set, you do a Spoto press, stop the bar an inch off of your chest. You're going to be able to immediately tell the difference from a Spoto press and a regular bench press. That deceleration is going to make the weight feel a lot heavier on a Spoto press than a traditional bench press. That brief pause you get on a regular bench press at the bottom of a bench press, if you're pausing at the bottom, you realize how much it helps you. It's kind of like a rest. You kind of get a breather. It takes the tension off of your muscles. And the point of this exercise isn't necessarily time under tension, even though that is a benefit of the Spoto press too, is more consistent time under tension. I just think that the emphasis is on the fact that you have to heavily and quickly decelerate this load, because again, you're not trying to get it to touch your chest. So I think that little bit, when you compare them side by side on yourself and you do them, that emphasis is extremely hard. Just that inch that you're cutting off difference makes such a big difference that on my hypertrophy days, I really like this variation because it just makes it that much harder. It kind of makes you just in your head realize that you have to control the negative that much more. So I think that overall, in regards to hypertrophy, the Spoto press is good for that reason. Is the fact that you have to decelerate that load so much. You realize how much tension that you have to put on the bar to be able to stop it. It just feels a lot more on your chest musculature. And this goes to the kind of bigger factor of a bench press. And people need to realize is that when you're doing a bench press, especially a full range of motion bench press, where you pause at the bottom, you're using a lot of leg drive. You realize how much leg drive and pop you get off the bottom when you pause at the bottom. You're kind of taking advantage of the ligaments and tendons. You're taking advantage of that stretch reflex a lot more when you do a full range of motion bench press. When that muscle, those ligaments and tendons are stretched maximally, again, that stretch reflex is helping you lift the load. People need to realize that the chest musculature, or all muscles, but in this specific exercise, the chest musculature, the ligaments and tendons, they have elastic properties to them. They stretch a little bit. It's kind of like a rubber band where you stretch it, and then when you come back with the rubber band, you stretch it and then shorten it real quick. It has a little bit more pop. But when you do the Spoto Press, you realize you're not taking advantage of this as much, so it just feels that much harder. So that's why the Sporto Press, at least in regards to hypertrophy, is one of my favorite variations to make more chest gains overall. So again, for those of you who are looking for a bigger chest, you should implement this. Also too, what I really think is for strength athletes, it's good for strength athletes as well, not just for bodybuilders. For me, I'm on my intensity block right now where I'm trying to up my numbers. So for those of you who are on, let's just say you're a power lifter or you're trying to focus more on strength, if you're trying to have a hypertrophy day in there, but you still want to keep specificity high, let's just say you're like, I want bench press work in there because I need to get better at the bench press. I need to get better at the setup. I need to get better at the technique, but I still want hypertrophy work in there. The Spoto Press is one of the best options you can include there as well, because again, it's really good for hypertrophy since you really have to control that eccentric. You're getting more constant tension. You have to decelerate the load. And then again, the specificity is extremely high because you're still doing a bench press. So like on my intensity block, I have a power day, I have a strength day, and then for my hypertrophy day, I'm doing a Spoto Press. So for those strength athletes out there, if that's something that you want to do, you want to have a hypertrophy day, include the Spoto Press there as well. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.